Brian, hi, it's David Olkowetsky with ArtisanRevere. Hope you're well. Wanted to make you a quick video just showing you a couple things. So the purpose of this video is twofold. Number one, I'm going to do a quality control inspection on your knife. I've already done one, but when ahead of shipping out, we also do a final QC inspection. And then I'm also going to give you our 8.5 steps to ensuring that all of your knives, including your chef knife and other knives in your arsenal, are in great condition. So first thing I want to do though, before I get into any of that, is I'm just going to show you, this is your Midnight Black paring knife right here, and as you can see, it slices through magazine paper very, very easily. This tells me a couple things. Number one, it tells me the edge radius is very, very narrow and sharp, and then number two, it also tells me that there's no chipping at all. You can tell that very easily by moving the blade slowly through magazine paper. So first things first, let's go over our 8.5 steps to ensuring that your knife is in great condition, and then I'll switch over to the QC inspection and pop your knife in the mail. So first things first, you want to use your knives on food and only food, specifically the types of food that they were made for. So for instance, you don't want to use our chef knife to do heavy butchery, especially if you're needing to break through a sternum, etc. You also don't want to be splitting through frozen meats, like if you have burger patties together, just let them defrost. So food and only food, non-frozen foods. That's number one. Number two, wash and dry your knives completely. Elmax steel is stainless. It is a third generation powder stainless steel. However, if you leave it in, if you make a roast and you have a very salty brine in that roast, for instance, sodium chloride and acid attack the free chromium layer that's on the outside of the blade. That's what actually keeps them from rusting and from patinaing. And over time, if you leave it, for instance, sitting in something very salty for an hour or 2 hours, you're going to start to see some very minor discoloration. So very important, wash and dry completely prior to storage. The drying portion is very important as well. Moisture is the enemy of steel. You want to make sure it's completely dry before you store. So wash and dry. Number three, food grade mineral oil. You can get this for $2 or $3 at Target, $5 or $10 for a nice spray bottle on Amazon. This is great for seal. It's great for handles. So our handles are made from Richlite. Richlite is 65% recycled wood pulp. Wood, you're always going to be covering your cutting boards in food grade mineral oil. It's a really great way to ensure that they retain all of the moisture. So food grade mineral oil, especially if you're going away for a month or two, 1 drop on either side of the blade, 1 drop on the handle, and rub it in with a terry cloth, and you should be good to go. Number 4, cutting boards. 3 kinds of cutting boards we recommend, 2 primary and 1 secondary. So the 2 primary are wooden cutting boards and plastic cutting boards. Good wooden boards include maple, walnut, cherry. You want to avoid bamboo, it's not wood. You want to avoid teak, you want to avoid some of the others. The reason you want to avoid bamboo and some of the others is they might have high silica content. Silica is a really, really great way to erode your cutting edge. Now, plastic boards are great as well. You can use plastic for anything. I personally do most of my work on wooden boards except for animal proteins. Animal proteins I do exclusively on plastic because you can sanitize them in the dishwasher. So the secondary type of board that we like is by a brand called Hasegawa. They make really nice synthetic rubber boards. That's for folks who do a lot of slicing and not a lot of rock chopping because it's going to scar up the board. So again, number 4 was use those 3 types of cutting boards. Number 5, bench scrapers. So after you're done, chopping and you're going to go transfer your food, we recommend using a bench scraper, or instead of the cutting edge of your blade, like a lot of chefs do, we suggest you finish chopping, switch to the spine of the blade, and then move the food that way. So either the spine or use a bench scraper. Number 6, never use the dishwasher on a high-end knife, ever. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Number 1, you can damage the cutting edge if it hits up against a ceramic plate or a glass bowl or whatever. Number 2, it's going to absolutely destroy the handle. So it's going to pull all the moisture out of the handle, number 1. And number 2, it's going to severely weaken the handle because ours are held together by 2 things. One is the pins, and then number 2 is the epoxy. So moisture plus heat equals complete elimination of the epoxy. It'll literally seep out, so your handle will be significantly weakened and far less beautiful. So, like I said earlier, mineral oil is great for your handles for retaining that moisture. And again, just seriously never put this in the dishwasher. I'm sure I don't need to belabor the point any more than that. Storage. Let's pretend that this bench scraper is actually a magnet. So we like magnetic storage or leather sheet storage. So what you're going to do is you're going to put the knife spine side first up onto the magnet and then rotate it slowly. And then when you go to release it or want to take it off, you rotate it back and take it off this way. You never want to have edge contact on anything, frankly. So that's magnet storage. The other type of storage is leather storage. That's how I store all of my knives. I've never had any patination, even with carbon non-stainless blades. The reason is I wash and I dry completely. Leather retains moisture, and as I mentioned earlier, moisture is really just the enemy of steel. You don't want to use a knife block, so those big heavy knife blocks, where wooden knife blocks. The reason is every time you go in there, you are literally cutting. So you're reducing the edge retention, the edge life of your blade. Also, there's a possibility of moisture in there, all sorts of nasty stuff as well. Honing. So there's lots of different ways to do this. Most of them are wrong. I'm going to show you the wrong ways, then I'm going to show you the right way. This is wrong. Every time you do it, you're literally cutting into the ceramic rod. You're damaging the edge every time you do it this way. This way is a little bit better. This is what Jacques Pepin recommends. It's just the reverse. It's good to do pulling strokes, so you're not causing damage. I also don't love this way because it's hard to maintain a super consistent angle. It's okay though. The way a lot of butchers do it is they'll come in like this. I don't like this for so many reasons. One, you can easily hit up against the finger guard here. Number two, again, you're still like chopping into the ceramic. So, again, and then number three, bad angle control. By the way, this way right here is dangerous if somebody's walking in front of you. So the right way, place the ceramic rod into the board, put the knife heel, that's this right here, into the ceramic rod, and pull back and towards you on both sides. Gently, very light pressure, 3 to 5 times per side prior to service, or if you're a home cook, once a week is great. Don't want to use steel rods. Steel rods very often have ridges, and ridges can be pretty dangerous for a cutting edge. And then number 8.5, and I'm going to leave this as a half because I have a whole long article about it. Sharpening. If your knife can no longer easily get through a tomato skin or a pepper skin or what have you, it's time to sharpen it. I like the Work Sharp. We partnered with them. They make one just for us. It uses genuine Norton abrasives. Those are the same abrasives we use to get your knife razor sharp. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's like a very quick learning curve. I'll send you a document that teaches you exactly how to use it if it's something that you're interested in. Or whetstones are great as well. I don't like the Chef's Choice Pro from, I'm forgetting who makes that, but it's called the Trizor. It's a very aggressive metal eater. Those little handheld sharpeners that cost like $10 are total junk. You're going to absolutely ruin your edge with that. A good tool is important. You want to be spending probably, I mean, if you sharpen by hand, you probably need 3 stones. You need a low, medium, and high grit stone, so something like 320 or 400 grit, 1000 grit, and call it 6000 grit, and that's all you really need. You can get all 3 for $80, $90, something like that. Or if you want something that's a little bit more turnkey, I think the Work Sharp is a great tool. So that's it on the knife care. Let's do a quick inspection of your blade. I follow a little checklist like a pilot would. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the pins. That's these two, making sure that they're flush. By the way, I did this for your chef knife. I do this for every knife that goes out the door. I only recently started doing videos for folks though. Next, I'm going to check to make sure there's no gaps between the scales. There aren't any. I'm checking to make sure it's super smooth. I'm going to re-oil this and clean it prior to shipping to you. Next, on a paring knife, you want no flex. Good, no flex. We're going to check the spine, make sure it's softened. Good, good. We're checking the choil, making sure it's softened as well. Paring knives obviously don't balance. There's way more weight in the handle because it's so small. I do check to make sure it feels quite right, and it does. So the way you hold this, you loop your middle finger under the neck, under the choil area, and then you grab whatever it is you're working with in your support hand. I'm left-handed, so this is my left hand. My support hand is here. Let's say I'm coring an apple. I'm working with both hands like this. Super. I'm gonna do a quick fingernail check. I'm gonna run it through a piece of wood under its own weight. This is a really nice way to deburr your knives. Our edges do not flex, so that's what I'm gonna check right now, because we make them nice and thick and sturdy. I'm going to check for straightness. I'm going to check for chipping via light. And now I'm going to check the edge grind. Perfect. Perfect. We've already done the magazine check, but let's do it again so you can see. Very easy, very clean. This is a superb piece of craftsmanship. I'm very excited to get it out to you. I hope you enjoy your new paring knife. Thank you so much for your support. I'll let you know when our next knife is coming out. Hopefully in the next couple months. All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day.